I'm Cheyenne from Elementary Helper, and welcome to our blended preschool program.
So what we're going to do is give you a little tour of the centers, kind of explain why they are laid out the way that they are, and if you want any specifics, just make sure to comment below. Alright, so we'll start with our art center. It is really important that the art center is kind of in the corner for us, only because then it's easier to contain all of the mess that happens, and we definitely want the kids to explore it in whichever way they find authentic. So make sure that everything you have is labeled. We label with both a picture and an English and Spanish label, and also see-through containers help. That way students know where paperwork or litter or stuff goes back into, because cleanup is really important in a preschool classroom. Our art center also has a lot of space for students to put up their work. As you know, it is really important that students are able to see their work as well as access it as they see fit. We have a little shelf with art binders that house some of the projects that they've worked on, some 3D shape and 3D art materials, and of course access to markers, crayons, color pencil, scissors, glue, and glue sticks. As we move towards the side of the room, we have our kitchen. It was really important for us to make sure that the loud centers were together. So we have art, which gets pretty loud. We have the kitchen, which, as you know, is like a ruckus party all the time. And we have science. So this part of the room tends to be louder. The kitchen, kind of the same thing as the art. Everything is labeled with pictures as well as a word label in English and in Spanish, and everything is really accessible. We try to make sure to include items that the kids used, so really taking food products and just gluing or taping them with clear tape so that they're able to use the food and the items that they see in their own home, which is really important when you work with culturally diverse students. Then we move to our science area. This area is a little bit smaller because we try to do a lot of our science outdoors or just bring stuff in. So we have leaves and gourds and acorns, as well as a lot of items that are conducive to floating and sinking. One thing that we really pride ourselves in is kind of having objects and materials that allow kids to see the world in a scientific way. So lots of magnifying glasses, flashlights, pipettes, and just sinking and floating items. And for our kiddies that are definitely ready to start learning more about the life cycle, right besides our science area is the teacher corner. This teacher corner is really helpful for Cheyenne and I because it helps us access anything we would need. We have a teacher kind of storage area that is labeled so that we know where we keep things. So Cheyenne has a drawer, I have a drawer, we have a to-do drawer, a teacher supplies drawer, copy and laminate drawer, and that really helps. And right above the drawers is the assessment binders. This is really helpful to have. As you know, preschool, we don't assess in the typical way that most primary schools or classrooms do. We do a lot of observational assessment. So it's easy to just kind of go to the binder, write a note. But these assessment binders also include the teacher-made assessments that we will put up on the TPD page soon. And this is where the magic happens. Small group centers. It's kind of in the corner, so it's quieter over here. Obviously, kitchen is further down, and blocks and instruments are all the way on the other side. So it's really conducive to having a quiet environment where we can work one-on-one with students with diverse needs. And on this corner, we have a storage unit that has a lot of our teacher-made materials, adapted books, file folders, and more student data binders. Right next to the teacher corner, we have another quiet area of the classroom. We start with the writing center. We have the word wall in the back, as well as all the writing materials that students would need, once again labeled with pictures and words. And the great thing about the center is it gives students the ability to practice fine motor skills and writing without being too pushy, like write your name right now. Right next to the writing, we have magazines for kids to cut, letters and numbers out of. We have dry erase boards and dry erase markers, crayons, people colors, and we have a couple of bins with different letters for students to practice tracing and writing, as well as different words that we use around the classroom, months of the year, types of food, types of clothing.
To the writing area, which is quiet, we put the library right next to it. It kind of goes hand in hand. We have the word wall behind it, we have the ABC chart. We have a listening station where the students can put in a CD and look at the book while they listen to the CD. We also have our library organized by level and also by specific like animals, humans, community, encyclopedia. So this is just a really good area for the kids to come if they're looking for a quiet playtime. And then also in addition to the writing library, we have a sensory corner. The sensory corner is made up of 4 bins, and right now we have sand and a couple of different manipulatives. You can change those in and out depending on what theme you're working on, and you can put manipulatives in there that match the theme you're working on. And we also have a sensory bin that has balls, it has weighted material, it has cushions for those kids who might need it in your classroom. And next, moving on, we have our circle time and block center. So in addition to the small group center table that Miss Cynthia showed you, this is where all the large group magic happens. So we come to this area for morning message, for large group meeting, and for story time. So as you can see, there is a lot going on. We have our board that all the materials stay up there throughout the day. It has our rules, it has expectations, classroom helpers, and then the charts that we use for circle time. It's nice to have all this up here throughout the day so kids can refer to it when they're speaking to one another, when they're working with a teacher. We also have the block center in this area, and as you can see, it's all labeled. We have foam blocks, we have wooden blocks, and we have cars and trains. The kids really love this center. It gets really loud. They want to come here all the time. It's really a great center for them to get their energy out. In addition to that, down below are our center tags. So throughout the day, students can pick what center they'd like to go play in. They can change it out if they would like something different. We have quite a few different centers, and it is student choice. I will move behind you. Again, to a very noisy area are the manipulatives and table toys. As you can see, we have a wide variety of material for the students to use, and it is all labeled so students know how to clean up and also what the material is that they are using. We have puzzles, we have books. It's also very important in each center that we have books related to that center. So in the kitchen we have books, in table toys we have books, and blocks we have books related to the material they are using. We put out all these tables for students to use because, as you can see, it is a lot of material that they have access to. We also have Legos, Wiki sticks, and Play-Doh for the students to use when they are in the table toys as well. They can access one of these tables. Also, in addition, we have the light table where students can bring manipulatives over from table toys to use at the light table. So we have a lot of translucent building materials that they can use over here. We also have some writing materials that the students can use to write on the light table with. And moving on to, again, a very noisy area of the classroom, we have computers. We have 3 computers that the students can use. We allow them to access free websites like ABC Mouse or Starfall. Once the students get to an age that they're able to use the computer, they really enjoy accessing those websites. And last but not least, our last center is music. It's a very loud center, but the students enjoy exploring all the different materials we have in here, and they can take it to the carpet when blocks is not being used to use those materials. That is it for the centers in our preschool classroom, but I will last talk about kind of like the teacher corner. On this board, we have important news for anyone who walks in our classroom, principals, subs, emergency contact, lesson forms, a schedule, and any important allergy information. And then we also have our student binder that has all contact information if we need to leave the classroom in an emergency, as well as procedures listed for lockdowns, fire drills, and tornadoes. And as you can see, we have student work mailboxes. So the students, if they are taking any work home for the day or the week, may put their materials in these mailboxes to take home with them. So thank you for visiting our classroom. If you guys have any questions or would like to know about any of the material we have in our classroom, please feel free to leave a comment.